I'd like to discuss an important strategy when it comes to keeping your digital images safe. It's called 3-2-1 backup. With this idea, you're going to make multiple copies of your image to prevent from possible data loss. Remember, data loss can come from many sources: user error, problems with the hard drive, or even loss or theft. Ideally, you're going to end up with 3 copies. That's the 3. In 2 different formats, with one of them off-site. Now, there are several different ways to implement 3-2-1 backup, but when done correctly, it will greatly improve the chance of your images being safe. In my case, I tend to make 3 copies. For example, we have a copy on the memory card itself. That's the original copy. Then I'll copy that to 2 different locations. When I'm out in the field, I might use a portable RAID like this one here. This is a Drobo Mini, but I can also use a bus-powered hard drive. That gives me 3 copies until I get back to the office. This way, if I were to lose the memory card or accidentally erase it in the camera while traveling, I still had 2 different copies. And even if I lost one, I'd have the other. Now, speaking of losing one, I make sure to pack them separately, putting one in my carry-on bag and another in my travel bag. Well, these 3 copies are essential so that I don't lose the data until I get back to the office. Once I'm back in the office, I'll create 3 copies again. I'll copy it to 2 direct attached drives. In my case, I'm using RAIDed hard drives, so even an individual drive can fail with no loss of data. Then I'll also make another copy. Now, one of those copies is going to go off-site. This is typically cloud backup. You could take advantage of dedicated cloud backup companies like Backblaze or CrashPlan, or simply use some of the broader companies like your Google Drive or Dropbox to store images. There are many different options out there, but that off-site backup helps protect against things like fire or theft, where you might have data loss in your home or office. You need to take advantage of 3-2-1 backup. 3 copies, 2 media types, and at least one of them being off-site. Many users choose to use software to help them organize their photos. There are many different solutions out there, but there are a handful that I personally use. On the Apple side, you might use Apple Photos or Photos for Mac. This is the default application that's included with an Apple computer. This makes it easy to organize your images and has some basic editing tools, but it also supports the use of extensions. For example, I can fire up Luminar from Mac Fun for additional editing later on. A lot of folks used to use a program called Apple Aperture. However, the program is still available to those who bought it in the past, and many users have extensive libraries that they keep organized using Apple Aperture. Adobe Bridge is a program that works well for Photoshop, making it easy to tag and organize your images, a process we'll talk about next. And another popular platform is Adobe Lightroom. This is a tool that creates a catalog so your images can stay organized, allowing you to make some basic edits as well as tag or keyword your images. The benefit here is your images might get spread across multiple drives, but by using a catalog tool, you can easily organize them. This allows for important tasks like applying ratings. Once you've rated an image, it's easy to then sort and pick out your best photos. Or perhaps you want to sort and sift based upon things like where a picture was shot. Using software to organize your image not only makes it easy to find things, but it can even automate the backup process. Make sure you pick a tool that works for you. The tools that I've mentioned are supported by MacFun software tools. So if you need to apply additional edits or you want to use your MacFun software, they'll integrate as a plugin or an extension. An important step in keeping an organized image library is to tag images with metadata. Now, metadata is an interesting word, but it essentially just means data about data. In this case, information about your files. There's a wide range of metadata. Your camera generates a lot of this. This can include information like the time an image was shot, or what settings were used when capturing. This is useful because you can go through your library and search for certain types of images, or maybe you want to find pictures from a particular date or time. This allows you to sort very quickly. Your camera can also add information like copyright to the files. Taking the time to set up your copyright information in your camera can ensure that that metadata is automatically attached to your photos, so people know who created a particular image. Now, there's also a lot of metadata that you can add on the computer. Some software will go through and scan images using facial recognition to make it easy to find other people that are in your photo library. For example, I can quickly sort for pictures of my kids. You can also go through and manually add metadata. This will include the ability to tack on extra information. Now, if your camera has a GPS, it might automatically know where a photo was taken, but you can go through and assign other information like the city and the state manually as well. You might also decide to add color labels or star ratings. These ratings will help you quickly find images again in the future when you're looking for your favorite photographs. On my computer at home, I have images ranging from almost 20 years of shooting. These images are on an attached drive that's also mirrored to a second drive. I've got almost 14 terabytes of photographic data. And I have to tell you, if I were to go through and search and try to find all that manually, it would be a nightmare. Make sure you take the time to organize your photo library. If you can't do it right away, periodically set aside some time to go through and stay caught up. The benefits of organization make this well worth it.